Hey everyone, I just wanted to upload this game. It was a Blitz game that I played, a 3+2 rating. I just wanted to share it with you guys because I really enjoyed the game and there's a really nice tactic here in the middle. So I had the black pieces and I've recently been studying the Caro Kann, Hanging Pawns and Gotham Chess, two great YouTube channels. You should go check them out. Have just convinced me that it's really good for my rating range, and it's not really played as often. So the Caro Kann starts with c6, preparing to contest the center on move 2, versus the Sicilian where you directly contest the center on the first move. Typically d4 is the normal response, but knight to f3 is okay. So he goes for kind of an advanced Caro Kann with the advancement of this pawn. And usually, if this knight were here and this pawn were here instead, black would respond with bishop to c5. But because the knight's already out, I think it's an improvement to pin the knight to the queen instead of this square, because black hasn't committed to d5 yet. And so if black plays something, I don't know, he could play white could play something odd and kind of make black's bishop here on c5 look silly. So he does commit to d5, and now black has an improved French. If there's any French players out there, you'll know that this light squared bishop on c8 is usually a problem. But since the light squared bishop is now outside the pawn chain, this is a very nice setup for black, because we have the classic French setup where you're going to contest d4 by playing d5. You're gonna have a nice square for nice squares for your knights, and this dark square bishop will be aiming this way. So a couple developing moves. He looks to kick my bishop, but I decline this trade just because I like the pressure that I have on him right now. Yeah, and plus, if he really wants to chase me out and ruin his kingside structure, I'm definitely okay with that. But he doesn't decide to, so I get to maintain this tension. Now I push for c5. I've got it defended twice, so taking for white would be a mistake, and he doesn't make that mistake, except he reinforces, asking me if I want to take him. I decline, and I continue developing. This move seems odd because it blocks in my dark squared bishop and I can't castle. But in studying this, it's not a terrible move. At least I didn't think it was. Just because it activates the knight, and it gives me... Going here would be a mistake, as it would fork. But it gives me some flexibility, as I can maneuver the knight. You know, I could come over here if I wanted. It doesn't seem like a great move, because you're like, well, what's the point of this? Like moving here, moving here. I mean, there's no really a great way to go with it. But you'll see later on that it gives me some flexibility and helps me from just being overrun in the center. He castles. This is just an attempt to pawn grab. I also didn't necessarily have a move here. White defends. This was kind of a waiting move. It also lines my queen up on his king, so I thought it was an okay move. This is a good move because now I'm X-raying the queen. He defends his light squared bishop. Also X-rays the king. Captures, and now, since my light squared bishop is hanging, I decide to just take it off the map, which you'll see is why he played this move, because he wanted to capture with the knight, and if this piece weren't here, he doesn't want to give up the strong centralization of his knight. So now this move makes sense. I reopen this diagonal for my dark squared bishop, and I can directly put pressure on his e5 pawn, which is only defended by a single rook, and I've hit it twice. So this was a tricky move because it threatens discoveries, a discovered attack on my queen. But I didn't see any checks in the position. I didn't really see anything that great for white. so I decided to capture the pawn, electing to capture with the g6 knight, as not great squares here, whereas this knight still has some good squares he can go to. This was kind of an odd move. I don't know what the purpose was of this move. I assume he just wanted to develop and try and double his rooks. This wouldn't have been much better. So yeah, white kind of stuck with he's underdeveloped here. Can't really develop with tempo, so stuck playing this move. I played this move to contest the center and as well threaten to capture, because captures. These two pieces aren't hooked. The knight's in the way. So this X-ray vision of the undefended queen is really nice for black in this position. We exchanged our square bishops. I castle, and he doubles up. And white played a tricky move here. So my intention with a5 was to soften up his queen side and play for an advantage. I have the better center, as well as I have two really active knights, and so I wanted to soften up his knight, see what he wanted to do, and go from there. But white has this really nice move. My knight is defended, but he can capture the knight, and he can trade one rook for both of my knights, which was a really, I don't know, I thought it was an impressive move, just because I thought the strength of my position was in my knights, and that I was going to have this really dominant center, and I was going to jump around. I felt like my knights were better placed than his knights. Yes, he does give me, as we move towards the end game, I think having two rooks is stronger than having an extra rook rather than two knights is potentially better, but it was a good move. It took away a strength that I had. But now I get to play this. Only good move here is knight to c1, but instead white plays knight to d4, and black has a really nice tactic here. I kind of mentioned it earlier. Pause the video, see if you can find it. But yes, queen captures knight, recognizing that the queen is pinned. There's no defense of the queen. White would have to capture back and then would lose his queen. Or you're just giving up the knight for free. So my opponent resigned after this move. He saw the pin a little too late. And yeah, that's the game. So I really hope you enjoyed it. I tried to explain a little bit about the theory that I have learned about the Caro Kann, bringing the light squared bishop out, how it's an improved French. You get this French structure. Playing on the queen side, trying to soften up the queen side. Yeah, a lot of good things. We'll take a quick look at the analysis board. I'm not going to spend a ton of time here, as I want this to be a quicker video, under 10 minutes. So, out of the opening, we'll just kind of watch the bar here. I don't really want to see the moves. Oh, I guess I do want to see the moves, just because I like looking at the bar. Out of the opening, oh, this is interesting. It says I should prevent d4 from being pushed, but that's what the computer likes. I don't necessarily lose any advantage by developing. So all this was explained. Black fights for the center. Computer likes that move. Interesting. Giving up the pawn and then activating the rook and hunting me down. Interesting. Capturing here would have been good, I guess. Or taking right away. I don't know. Computer can't make up its mind. It looks like black is maintaining quite an advantage here, just because of the pin on the queen. Yeah, taking first, and then after taking back, you're winning a pawn in the center, and with a computer, that's just winning. So this is a really rich. I could have won a pawn early, but this is fine. Oh, this tactic is here right away. Wow, so the same tactic that I was so proud of earlier, I had 10 moves earlier. That's very interesting. Just goes to show how, even though you're aware of the tactics, and I was aware of why I was doing this, I missed it earlier. That's really actually interesting. Comment below if you noticed that while I was explaining the video. I totally missed that until I did this analysis. Still very good. Very good. The trades, castling was the right move. Yeah, should have moved the knight here. Yeah, this is very, very good for white. This was really tricky. I did not anticipate him to take the rook. Yeah, and then like I said, c1 is the only good move, and now I find the tactic that wins the game. Interesting. Well, I hope you enjoyed. I usually don't play very much blitz. My rating's quite a bit lower. I'm not a very good blitz player. I'm much better at rapid when I can think through, and I think in a rapid game I would have found this tactic because I would have spent more than 20 seconds on the move. So, yeah, very good game to War Prisoner. Hopefully I'll be showing you guys some more Caro Kann on the channel, and we'll see you in the next one.